Are you listening to that negative voice in your head? You know, the one that says you're not worthy, you don't have what it takes, you don't deserve it? Hi, I'm Cora Naylor, emotion co-practitioner. A lot of people look like they have it all together on the outside, but on the inside, they have negative talk going on. But you know, it can make you or break you. You can listen to it or choose not to listen to it. You can let it hold you back or not. Unfortunately, it's easy to get caught up in listening to it. Our subconscious is just, trying to protect us, but it doesn't help us to grow when we're listening to it for too much. It can cause you to, think that you don't have what it takes to get things done. Causes limiting beliefs in what you can do, and just stops you from reaching your potential. I know, I do it all myself. I do it do it myself all the time. Like, who am I to talk about the emotion code, or, you know, why would anyone want to listen to what I have to say, or I'm not good enough. The list goes on and on. Often part of the negative self-talk is a self-abuse of emotions that comes with negative self-talk. And Dr. Brad's definition of self-abuse is abusing the self emotionally, includes engaging in negative self-talk, blaming oneself, and so on. Abusing the self physically includes mistreating one's body through lack of sleep, proper diet, or nutrition, working beyond what one can or should endure. And this abuse can be real or imagined. And often the negative self-talk is, imagined things that are not real, but things that feel real inside of us. So learning to thank yourself for the warning, but don't allow that to, hold you back from what you're going to do. So just before we go on, if anyone's hanging in here live, just comment below with where you're calling in from. I know I'm just outside the Vancouver area, and we're finally getting some summery weather, which is exciting because we had a pretty rainy spring and summer's been taking its time getting here. So I'd love to hear where you're from. I know there's a lot of areas around North America that are experiencing heat waves, and I actually just heard a warning that in Toronto they're expecting a tornado somewhere. So yeah, comment below. Let's see where you're at. So again, back to the negative self-talk. A lot of these things can come from, issues or events that have happened in our past. People have told us for some reason or another that, we're not worthy, we're never going to amount to something or anything. And, it really holds us back. So does that ring any bells for you? Has anybody experienced anything like that? Maybe from a family member, from a teacher? Sometimes they can bring you up, but sometimes they can bring you down. You hear all these stories about um, actors and stuff like that are told they're never going to be anything. And those are the guys up there getting the Academy Awards. So don't always be listening to what other people tell you. The good news is that the emotions associated with these events can be released. So there is a way we can release that stuff. And it's not that difficult to do. The emotion code is a process that allows you to release the trapped negative emotions that contribute to these negative self-talk things, and along with a lot of other issues. So tonight, if you're on here and you want to have some negative self-talk that you'd like to delete, just comment below and I can do a live demo on here for you after I'm done doing a little bit of an explanation. You don't have to come on live with me. Just comment below and say what your issue is and what the talk is that you're telling yourself, and we can release that for you. And so maybe you're sitting here thinking, well, why would I want to volunteer? I don't even know what this emotion code thing is. Well, the emotion code was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. He's written the book, The Emotion Code. If you are interested in what I'm talking about and you want to learn more, highly recommend reading the book. Once you read the book, you can actually learn how to do this for yourself or on other people. Um, you know, and it'd be interesting to see what you can do. So this process allows you to release negative trapped emotions of during your lifetime as you have negative events that happen and you don't process the emotions, they can get trapped in your body and literally like a ball of energy, and they get trapped in different areas of your body. Sometimes they can cause you the physical pain, and that, sometimes people get unexplained pains. They don't know why they're feeling this pain. Often it's because it's emotional, not necessarily physical, or maybe the two are together. Um, and what's I going to do? So they figure the average adult has about 200 or 300 trapped emotions. So every time you have one of these little events and you don't process the emotions, then they get trapped. And most of us, as we were growing up, weren't trained on how to release emotions, or we were told to just suck it up or get over it. So we never really learned how to release those emotions. So this is one way we can do it now. Let's finally get rid of some of this junk and move on, right? So today I'm just going to go over the process for the emotion code, how it works. After I'm done this, if you're interested, just like I said, comment in the comments and I can do a live demo on you if you want to give it a shot, see what it's all about. So the first thing we need when we're doing the emotion code is we use the emotion code chart. So Dr. Brad, who wrote the book, he wrote up a chart. So this is what it looks like. You're not going to be able to see it all on here, but you can always Google it and get a copy of it. So on this chart, there's 60 negative emotions. So all these emotions can be trapped in your body. You can have the same emotion trapped multiple times for different events, but every event will have an emotion associated with it. Cool thing is we can do this. We don't have to be in person to do this process. Most of my clients I work with, we either do it via Zoom, we can do it on a phone call, or even through email. So the first thing we got to do is figure out which emotion on the chart is causing the issue. And to do that, we use muscle testing. So muscle testing is just a way to communicate with your subconscious. There's different ways you can do it. If you're interested in learning more about the different techniques, go on YouTube. There's tons of videos about it. One of the most common learning ones for people to do is called a sway test, where you just literally stand up and ask yourself a yes or no answer question and just feel your body. Does it go forwards? Goes forwards for a yes, or backwards for a no, because it's trying to get away from something. I use a ring method. So I take my ring fingers, my thumb, and they just loop together. And so when I'm asking the question, if it's a yes, they just hold tight. And if it's a no, they just slips right through. And the way I can do that for you is by becoming your proxy. So that just means that once I've got permission from you, that I can do the process on myself as if I'm you. And that's how we can do it from a distance. So again, I need your permission to do that. I can't just go willy-nilly and be fun. When you see someone who looks like they have some kind of emotional issue, I'm going to think, oh man, I'm just going to go ahead and do that on him, but not quite. We got to get permission from you. So if you're an adult, I get the permission directly from you. If I'm working on your pets, I would get them from the owner. If on your kids, again, I would need permission from the parents for that. And I've done all of those things. I've done pets. I've done with a lady in Colorado. I'm in the Vancouver area. She's in Colorado, worked on her horse. Recently helped a friend of mine with food cravings. That's another one that the emotion code's good for is, are you eating because you're bored? Maybe you're wasting too much time scrolling on Facebook or watching Netflix. Food cravings is huge. So I did one lady, friend of mine, she's got a lot of emotional eating issues, and her thing was milk duds. She could not walk into a store and not buy milk duds. So after doing some work with me, she can now walk by. She has not had milk duds, I think, for at least 6 months now. And she doesn't even miss them. It's just like the craving goes away and you don't even, know that they're even there anymore. You just don't even care about them. So that part's kind of cool. First thing we got to do when we find the emotion is figure out what is the severity. So I'll ask your subconscious, what's the severity out of 1 to 10? We'll rate it, and then we'll go through, delete some emotions that are involved with it, and then we'll rate it again. Ideally, we want to get you to a 0, But, sometimes it takes a little bit to do that. So as long as we're getting it down the scale, that's the main thing. So some other things, like I said, that you can use it for is for fears, chronic pains. Tonight we're talking about negative self-talk. So it could be limiting beliefs or, any feelings of worthiness, unworthiness, any of that kind of stuff, bad habits, procrastination, uh, all kinds of different things. Seasonal allergies, that's another big one. So once we determine what the emotions are, then we have to release them. And the way that we release them is by using a magnet. So it doesn't have to be any special kind of magnet. You can use whatever you've got, a fridge magnet. My emotion code chart is actually a magnet. So that's what I use. So once I determine what the emotion is, for most emotions, I'll just release it by swiping it 3 times over my head like that. And that's releasing it from the governing meridian, which goes from your nose all the way down the back of your spine. So if you pass a magnet over anywhere along there, that just deletes the emotion, just like you're deleting the magnetic strip from your credit card. Before we get started, what I always make sure is that I am hydrated, have a drink of water. It helps also if the person I'm working on is hydrated. That just helps the energy to flow a little bit better. So I don't see any comments of anyone wanting to volunteer with me tonight, which is totally fine. If you decide you want to later, let me know. I will add my booking site here because maybe you just want to book book a session with me, and we can, set that up. You can just go right onto my calendar and pick a day, and we can get together. Now, I do have a menu of items because maybe you're thinking, well, she's talked about a few different things. I haven't heard anything that's specifically for me. So if you want to know more about what the things are that the emotion code can help with, just comment below that you want the menu and I can send that out for you. Okay, guys, so thanks so much for joining me tonight, and we'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye-bye.